In a dusty village nestled between green hills, there lived a boy named Elias. He wasn't fast, he wasn't flashy, he didn't win races at school or top the honor roll. While other kids seemed to bloom early, charming, clever, impressive, Elias moved through life like a quiet shadow. Teachers often overlooked him. Neighbors praised the brilliant children, while Elias sat silently, sketching ideas in an old notebook. His father once told him, "You're a late bloomer, son, but don't mistake that for weakness." Elias didn't fully understand what that meant. All he knew was that while others sprinted ahead, he always felt like he was walking, slow, careful, steady. At times it frustrated him. He wanted results, wanted recognition, but something inside him whispered, "Just keep going." And so he did, without applause, without rush, just one honest step at a time. As the years passed, Elias watched others move ahead. Some opened businesses, some left the village, some made their families proud with fast achievements. And Elias? He was still there, still learning, still building slowly. He studied mechanics in his uncle's shed, fixed broken radios no one else bothered with, and saved every coin he earned from part-time work. People didn't mock him, but they didn't notice him either. And sometimes, that silence hurt more than words. Still, Elias didn't quit. He told himself, "Let them run. I'll walk with purpose." He learned to be patient, not because life gave him what he wanted, but because it didn't. And that kind of patience grew into something powerful: focus. While others jumped from one idea to the next, Elias stuck with one thing, even when it got boring, even when it got hard. That's where slow growth begins, not in excitement, but in quiet commitment. The kind that doesn't look like much, until it suddenly does. One evening, Elias was fixing a neighbor's old sewing machine. He had done it 100 times before. No reward, no praise, just quiet effort. As he packed up his tools, the neighbor's daughter handed him a warm cup of tea and said, "You always take your time, but you never fail." That sentence stayed with him. It was the first time someone had seen the value in how he moved, not fast, but forward. That night, Elias opened his old notebook, the one full of drawings, diagrams, and half-finished ideas. He chose one project, the solar water heater he had sketched 2 years ago, and decided to build it. Not for anyone else, just to finish what he started, step by step, piece by piece. If you're someone who grows in silence, who builds slowly and gets overlooked, this channel is for you. Subscribe if you're ready to be reminded. Slow growth is still growth, and it's often the kind that lasts. Elias didn't post it online, didn't tell the village. He just worked, quietly, day after day, because he wasn't chasing attention. He was building something real. Weeks turned into months. Elias faced problems, made mistakes, and rebuilt parts of the project more than once. But he didn't quit. He didn't rush. Every challenge taught him something. Every setback refined his process. While others chased trends and quick wins, Elias quietly built a system that worked. One morning, a water pipe burst in the village during a dry spell. People panicked. There was no water for 2 days. That's when Elias quietly rolled out his homemade solar water heater. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. He connected it to a few tanks and offered it to the neighbors. No big speech, no demand for credit, just quiet usefulness. And that moment, the one no one saw coming, shifted everything. People who had once overlooked him now asked, "How did you think of this?" Elias just smiled. "I've been building it for a while." Slow growth, he realized, doesn't mean late. It means ready, when it matters most. After that moment, things changed for Elias. but not in the way people might expect. He didn't become rich overnight. He didn't move to the city or go viral. But something deeper shifted. He was finally seen. People came to him, not just for repairs, but for ideas, for advice, for leadership. Not because he shouted the loudest, but because he had earned trust the slow way, quietly, repeatedly. While others had rushed through short seasons of success, Elias had built something that endured. His growth hadn't been flashy, but it was rooted. And roots matter more than flowers when storms come. He began teaching younger kids in the village, not just mechanics, but patience. He'd tell them, the world might reward speed, but life rewards those who stay. And they listened, because they could feel the truth in his words. Elias had become the man who moved slowly and arrived exactly where he was meant to be. Years later, Elias still lived in the same village, still moved slowly, still showed up every day, not to prove anything, but because it was who he had become. The boy once overlooked had grown into a man people respected deeply, not for talent, not for speed, but for reliability. His life wasn't loud, it was steady. His impact wasn't instant, it was lasting. And in a world obsessed with going faster, Elias had chosen something better. He had chosen to go deeper. His success hadn't come from taking off quickly, but from refusing to stop. It wasn't about winning the race. It was about not quitting the journey. He had become proof that slow growth doesn't mean no growth. It means you are building with intention, with care, with roots. And that kind of growth, it outlasts the noise, every time. And now, ask yourself, are you chasing speed that fades, or building something slow that will actually last?